Before I take my makeup off and wash my dirty ass hair, let's talk about some new release makeup products. Okay, I haven't spoken about this, but I've seen this. I've spoken to people about it. We've seen the new Roxa eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona. This is the holiday limited edition release, and it is like a midi palette with purples and mauves and some sort of corally reds and pinks. That's it. There's not much more to say about it, really. If you like this colour story and you like Natasha Denona, you are going to be drooling over it. I do like some of the grey sort of colours there. Like, what is that one called? Phoebe. But this is not a palette for me, so I'm not even going to bother swatching it. But it's fine. Patrick Ta has released eyeshadow duos. These look very much like the Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadow, so that like really twinkly dispersed glitter effect. I think these look gorgeous. They're called Major Dimension Eye Illusion something eyeshadow duos. I think this is blocked, by the way, by the record button, but it's supposed to be a scattered sparkle. Now I would totally pick one of these up because I love that effect. I think it's gorgeous. If you like an everyday sparkle, which I do like, this is my jam. These swatches look a little bit blah, but you really have to see them sort of out of focus to get the twinkly effect of these. I think they're beautiful. Now, I have seen people crack the shits that these are too expensive. I think in the US they're about $42. I think it's about $65 in Australia for the duo. They're selling out, so obviously the price point is fine. In Australia, to buy one Urban Decay single eyeshadow, it's like 40 something dollars. So 65 for the two for this sort of effect and this quality. That seems all right to me, but that's me. I value these. I like these. I think they're beautiful. But jumping around everywhere, we've seen more about the Fenty Arcane collection. So thank you to the people that explained to me that Arcane is an animated series on Netflix. They do have some new lip glosses. There is a new sort of highlighter palette, like blush highlighter palette. There is one of their, what are they called? I've got one here. There's one of these highlighters, the Diamond Bomb, in a new sort of gold colour. So there's a bunch of stuff there if you're interested. I think the packaging, like the boxes look cool, but the products just look like gold packaging Fenty. It's kind of a bit boring. This is crazy. So Huda Beauty have released the Icy Nude palette and collection. I should actually have spoken about this at the start because it is making news because Huda has come out to say it's the last big palette they're ever releasing, and that's a big bold statement. So let's imagine in 5 years time where desk palettes are back and they're like the trendy thing. Is Huda not going to go any bigger than this just because at the end of 2024 she made the statement that they're never doing it again? I don't know. Also, the brand became really popular with this eyeshadow palette format, so it's obviously making them a lot of money and people love it. So I don't know. But this is a cooler toned palette, which is really trendy at the moment. People want sort of the greyish tones, the cooler tones. And I think this is done really well. Like they do have golds and some sort of barley type colours in there. So it is on the warmer side of nude, but it also really complements these sort of greys and pinks and whatnot and mauve. So I think this is beautiful. There's some lip glosses. These are like the liquid blushes in bronze shades, and this is something that I have to tip my hat to Huda and say you've got a good sense of humor and I totally dig it. This is a gloss blush, so it's one of those color adjusting, it's like a gloss in a pan and then it applies like the pH activating pink, which I think is a bit bleh, but that's just me. What I love about it is it legitimately looks like a petri dish. So I'll find another photo for you actually. Okay, so it's called the Face Gloss, and this is another photo of it. Now, they did one of these in a recent collection where it was it like a black balm or a balm like this? But now they've put these sort of what looks like bacteria blooms in it. Now, people did call, including myself, the sort of gloss shades of an eyeshadow palette that have the little balls of pigment, we called them petri dishes. And then she's legitimately brought out a full thing that looks like a petri dish that's blooming with like grossness. Hilarious. I love it. If I had a brand and that was the feedback I had, I would lean into it as well. Some people may say she's probably done it, so when people Google Huda Beauty and petri dish, this comes up instead, and it's showing that it's supposed to be on purpose. But I think this shows a good sense of humor, and I applaud. I think that's great. Another Frosty collection that I don't like as much, Colourpop have Frosty the Snowman. So you can see it's very Christmas themed. There's a lot of frostiness going on here, but whereas I think Huda did it in a sort of like a cool toned way where you can get frosty looks, but also really flattering, this is just like frosty for the sake of frosty, which I don't like. I lived through the 90s where like that really frosty makeup futuristic thing was around, and it was not flattering. So here are some swatches. Again, they look very white, very pastel. Wishy-Washy is a shade name, and it sums up this palette. This, to me, not as good as the Huda one. Yes, it's going to be cheaper. I would go the Huda one if you're looking for a cool tone palette. Even the highlighters, like, you have to be paper white for this to look good. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a really bad highlighter. They do have a sponge that apparently changes colour in water. And it's supposed to look like a snowman. Cool. But to me, this doesn't actually, like, if you said snowman, you go, oh yeah, I get it. But if someone just passed that to you, I would not think snowman. I would think, I'm going to say that dog toy where you stick like dog treats in it, but you can go lewd if you want. And e.l.f. are back at it again, like trying to really, look, to be fair, their marketing department is doing some really out-of-the-box collaborations that I think are selling fairly well. So we had the Tinder one. We had that one with that corpse makeup thing, whatever, with that water brand, whatever. Now they've got a collaboration with, technically it's Stanley cups. So I've got a knockoff sort of Stanley cup thing. So yeah, stay hydrated, cool, but the whole Stanley trend I don't get. But essentially you get these little lip oil holders that you clip on. How do you hold your water then? If the handle has I don't know. But they match this particular range, which is whatever it's called. Whatever. There's a particular range, and that they've got the matching colours, and then you also get a matching sort of lip oil that comes with it, and stickers that you can stick on your Stanley cup, which when you wash them, what happens? I don't know. This whole thing I don't understand, but I guess I'm getting old. So they are doing trendy weird things, but they're also doing trendy makeup, which is good. These are the finest Fleck glitter eyeshadows. So these are, I think, $6 US. So this is the same sort of concept as the Patrick Tar, the Urban Decay. So if you want a sort of dispersed glitter with not much base colour, e.l.f. have a cheaper version. So if you had your knickers in a twist over the prices of the other ones, you can try these. From what I see online, these don't look as refined and sparkly, simply because that sort of pigment to make them look really, really twinkly is fairly costly. And even at the scale that e.l.f. is making theirs at, I don't think they could sell them for $6 if they were using that high quality sort of shimmer. So, but you can get that kind of effect. So there we go. See, to me, these don't look that interesting. They just look like shimmers, bland shimmers, but affordable. They are also releasing Camo liquid bronzer and contours. So there are a whole bunch of shades. They're supposed to be perfect for creating a sun-kissed sculpted natural finish. Here are some more shades and some deeper shades. So they're available now if you want them as well. I know that range is quite popular, so they're adding to it. Time for me to go and wash my dirty ass hair. Look at that. It stands up by itself. That's disgusting.